we can get to know each other, talk and everything. But unfortunately, only thing I see is 21 BBA SF53. Uh, Please tell me your name. I'll try to learn your register numbers and names. I usually do homework. I sit and write all the register numbers and names to learn it. Try my best, but would love if you mention your name. I'll try to, it'll make it easier for me to remember the names. Okay. Simple interest. Can you tell me the formula? Do you remember? Simple interest. We had few terms, P, N, R, right? Were these the letters I used? Do you remember? Would love your response. I am online from multiple devices. So if you want, please send in chat. I'm also looking at it at the same time. And I would love if you speak up. So yes, interest alone is PRT. Oh, instead of N, we use T. And for compound interest, P into 1 plus R by N to the power NT. P R T, where P is the principal, what was it? The amount you initially invested, rate of interest in percentage, T is the time period, and simple interest was equal to PRT, and maturity amount was equal to maturity amount is equal to P plus PRT or P into 1 plus RT. Simple formula. Well, since it's simple formula, we did a lot of experiments. We found that in some cases, they are giving simple interest is beneficial than compound interest, despite, remember, initially we had a chat where we had a quiz where we asked, is simple interest better or compound interest better? And some of you said simple interest is better than, so compound interest is better than simple interest. Almost everyone voted for it. And then turns out in some cases, simple interest was actually beneficial than compound interest. But there's a tipping point. There is after a few years, if it's a longer term deposit, turns out compound interest may bring you higher return than simple interest. Well, what was the formula for compound interest? Can someone help me out? Can someone help me out with the formula for compound interest? There was P for sure, and there was some N, there was some T, and there was some R. R is rate of interest. What were these terms? Principal is 1. Did I spell principal right? We had that discussion as well, right? Notice one thing, it's not because I don't know the word, but it is because such a discussion also improves your vocabulary. And learning is not just about the subject, it's about our holistic development. That's why such discussions are brought in during our sessions. Okay. Can someone tell me what is the formula for the maturity amount? What was the formula for compound interest? Yes, P into 1 plus R by N to the power NT. Wait, then what was this N and T? What was N and what was T? T was the time period. What was this N? That's odd, right? In many websites or many resources, you won't see this N active there. You'll only see P, T, and R. What was this N? That was something that is extra that we added. What was the N? number of years, number of times amount, number of times we compound it yearly. All right. Now, interesting. What possibly could, what way could we improve this entire discussion? One thing is we already noticed, we made an observation that one for same period and okay, yeah, for same period, sometimes simple interest returns more amount. That we noticed. Simple interest is more profitable in some cases, and we did many different problems. Turns out, if even if the percentage is the same, turns out simple interest returns you more. Then two, what else can we notice? Will they ever be equal? Will simple interest be equal to compound interest in any case over same period? Will simple interest be equal to compound interest in any case over same period? Can you throw your thoughts? I'm looking at the mathematical side of it. I'm talking about when is these two equal? When could it be? Let me give you a case. Bank A, Bank B. Principal I am planning to put is 10,000 rupees. And on either bank, principal P is equal to rupees 10,000. All right. Now, rate of interest is the same, 6% and 6%. Now, I'm compounding once annually. That is, it is compounded annually. Compound interest compounded annually for the term of 1 year. Here also the term is 1 year. Can you find the maturity amount in either case? Can you calculate what's the maturity amount in case of in bank A and what will be the maturity amount in bank B? Maturity amount in bank A and bank B. Can you find it? Use the formula, find it, and post the answer in the chat box. Waiting for your response to the calculation and tell me. Simple interest, the maturity amount is 600. That is, interest is 600 and you end up earning 10,600 on either case. Interesting. Simple interest and compound interest is returning the same amount in this case. Interesting, right? So what about, say, in 2 years, if t is equal to 2, or what happens if t is equal to 2? If t is equal to 2, what would be the maturity amount? Can you calculate and tell me? All right, I'm waiting for your responses. What would it be in case of t is equal to 2? Please calculate and tell me. You might need a calculator for it, but can you quickly calculate? Just confirming, am I audible? Simple interest alone is 1,200. So maturity amount in this case will be 11,200. And in this case, maturity amount is 11,236. You see how this is. Hello? Yeah. So you see how where it is crossing the limit, right? So it turns out in some cases, simple interest may be equal to the compound interest. That profit we get from simple interest may be equal to the compound interest. And that case is nothing but same number of years. And when compound interest is done only once annually, as in the calculation is done once annually. Anyway, compounded once annually. Anyway, coming down. Now, another type of question we can ask. That is, say in my bank, this is what happened. I put one FD long time ago. All right. And then after 6 years, after 4 years, they gave me a return of rupees. Maturity amount was rupees. Okay, well, let's take a simple one, simple interest. They gave me a maturity amount of, sorry, just a second. Just a second, this device is giving up. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I put a FD. I don't remember when I did. After 10 years, I got a return of rupees 19,200. All right. So I had a return of rupees 19,200. And I know that interest was 6%. Question is, I was wondering how much amount did I put? What was the principal? Can we find it? Is there any way to find this? The principal of this case where I got maturity amount I got is 19,200 and it was term was 10 years, interest is 6%. Is there any way to find the principal amount? How do we do it? No. Someone suggested that it's 12,000. What does others think? Do you agree to her? Someone suggested 32,000. That's very tricky, right? 32,000, could it be? Because I put in 32,000, I'm getting an interest of 6%, and my return, they're giving me only 19,000. I mentioned as maturity amount. I didn't say interest. Yeah, the maturity amount is 19,200. I put in 32,000 and I got only 19,000. That's tricky. Read the question properly. We didn't say 19,200 is not the principal. 19,200 is the maturity amount. So after 10 years, so let me say let X be the principal, principal or principal. What is it? What is it? PRANCIPLE or PAL? PAL. PAL? What about others? I would love responses. As I mentioned, I would love responses. If you respond, we can. Okay, now we have mixed responses. Someone went by what I said earlier, and someone is saying it's different. What is it? We have to put it for a what, right? Let's see. Let's continue the same. Let's do the same what we did last time. All right. Yeah. Creating a what? Yes, let's have a what then. Is it principal or principal? Interesting. Always you can change your option. There is always that option, right? Try searching and see what could be right. Try searching. Don't come to a conclusion because I presented it so. Try searching. Come to a conclusion yourself. These are called, as I told you, these are called homonyms. No, sorry, this is not a homonym. This is a homophone. Homophones. That is, they sound similar, but they have a different meaning. Okay, now we have split opinion here. Therefore, I'm going to put a question mark here. Bots are changing. Some people are changing it to principal, and some are changing from principal to this. Interesting. All right. Someone has taken back their comment. Okay. Try Googling. Quickly Google and see which is a word. It's good to learn a word, right? Anyway, principal question mark. That's what I'm going to deal with. And next class, do a thorough research, assure, because it's a common word we use. Okay, let X be the principal. Let X be P. Now, we know that we got 19,200. We know that 19,200 is equal to, we have X into 1 plus my time period is, I put it for 10 years at 6%. All right. Now I'm not talking about compounding. Let's assume simple interest, as you said. Thank you for pointing it out. Let's assume simple interest. Now our question is, can we find X? This implies X is equal to 19,200 divided by 100 plus 60 by 100. That is, I'm just simplifying this, or you can just cut out, whichever way you want. Now this is equal to, can you simplify this? You can do it without a calculator. Actually, this one is doable without a calculator. You have 16 by 10, or you can further cut it into 8 by 5. Oh no, let's keep it as 16 by 10. Might have its advantage. This will be, if you calculate, you'll end up with 192 is divisible by 16 if I'm not wrong. So let's do 192 divided by 16. 1, 16, 3, 2, 2, yeah, 12. 12, 0, 0, 0. I'm avoiding calculator. I'm just avoiding calculator to do the calculation. All right, notice what happened here. We didn't know the principal amount. We used the same formula to find the principal back. Now, let's do one more problem of this sort, but this time with a twist. The twist is nothing but, suppose you had invested, say, 15,000 rupees. Principal is 15,000 rupees. And you put it for 6 years. You put it for 6 years. So your investment was 15,000. T was 6 years. And you got a maturity amount of 21,300 under simple interest. Under simple interest, we got a maturity amount of 21,300. Now, question, what is the interest percentage? Can you calculate it? Same thing, use the formula and find out what is unknown. Here, what is unknown is R. Therefore, let's see. Solution. Let R percentage. Suppose it was R percentage interest. Suppose it was R percentage interest. Then we can use the formula. We know that our maturity amount is equal to principal into 1 plus R into 6. From this, we have to find R. And that is implies 1 plus 6R is equal to 213 by 150. This implies 6R is equal to 213 by 150 minus 1. This implies R is equal to this entire thing. 213 minus 150 is 63 divided by 150, and the entire thing divided by 6. And some of you have found the answer as 7%. Did I do the steps correct? Can you verify? All right. Now, if you understood what we are doing, can you give me a thumbs up or some reaction? Can you give me a thumbs up or some reaction to know whether you're following? Okay. Yes, that's good. Now, I want to point out some more things to you and another 2 minutes before we wind up. Your time is also valuable. As I told you, there was a certain emergency. Someone fainted. That's why I couldn't start on time, but I don't want to prolong it more than our fixed time. Therefore, I want to point out something. When this question was presented, I gave all the necessary data. I didn't give it in the text. I should have rather given the data as if a person deposited some amount for 10 years at 6% simple interest, and he got 19,200 in return. What was the principal? The mystery word, where we'll have one more quiz on which is the right word. What was the principal? Is the question. This would be the question. One thing to notice is from this entire group of text, things we need. One thing is this: how many, what is T, what is a percentage, and what is a maturity amount. We picked out those 3 things which are needed for us, and then whatever is unknown, we put it as X or any letter you want. Then we went ahead and we plugged in all the data we know in the formula. We reworked the formula to get the answer. But here notice one thing. I was very careful in my presentation. Let X be the principal. I mentioned that X is going to stand for this. This is the purpose of X. This is what X is going to stand for. 2. Then I mentioned we know that it's not coming out of nowhere. From the formula, which we know, this is the case that arises. This case arises from the formula. From the, we needed to connect. See this symbol is called implies. What this symbol means is, from the previous line, this is what I am able to infer. From the previous line, I know everything, therefore I can find X is equal to some value. And we find X is equal to some value, we simplify it and reach the answer. So notice how the answer is presented. It is self-contained. That is, when we use the symbol X, we mentioned what it is about. We wrote an expression, and from that expression, whatever observation we made, we mentioned it using this implies symbol, and we finished the problem. Another thing, we are unsure whether the exams office will allow you to use calculators for end semester. Therefore, that's why I took the shortest path of manually doing it. Practice your mental math. I will see if they will allow. But last time they said for math papers, calculators are not allowed. So we had to stick to no calculator. So make sure that you practice your mental math and keep these things in your mind when you write the answer. Same thing happened here. Question was not question was not framed well, but see this. Before talking about what I wanted, I said let it be our percentage interest. Now, our percentage interest, right? So I made a mistake here. I should have put R by 100 instead. So R by 100, and then I should have simplified. R by 100 and R by 100 is equal to. So you will get the answer as 0.0007. This implies R is equal to 7%. All right. So what I'm saying is, at first I told you before using R, I said this is what R stands for. Then I took what I know, the formula, and then I said from this I am able to infer this. From this I am able to infer this and continue making observations of this sort, finally to reach the answer. So to conclude this class, what I have to say is, one, we noticed when simple interest is equal to compound interest, could that case arise? Two, we find principal or time or rate given other quantities. Three, we noticed how to present our thoughts systematically. All right. So with that, we'll conclude this session. And yeah, just so I know, can you give me some reactions if you understood or if you learned something new in this session? Some reaction, quick reaction, or if there is anything that was not beneficial for you, please mention it. As in, if the whole session that you didn't learn something new, please mention it. I'll try to make it a bit more challenging for you guys as we go ahead. Yeah, portions for midsem will be mostly simple interest, compound interest, and the first chapter, which hopefully we'll be able to cover it by next week. We'll do more problems, and by next week we'll cover the first chapter. And we have two more classes, right? Tomorrow as well we have one class. So in 3 classes we'll be able to cover quite a decent amount of portion for midsem. And this chapter 1, you have the syllabus, right? Chapter 1 will be the portion for midsem. Any more additions or subtractions, I'll tell you as time passes. Okay. Now, for many of you, it might be something that you already know because you are commerce students and you may know it better than me and you can contribute as well. But